also have somebody's crisp packet. Take that away and put that in the bin, I think. Bird's foot, trefoil, another meadow species, common mallow, hazel, blackthorn, holly, hawthorn, all native species. Afternoon. Afternoon. Hello there, okay. If you look at the one over here, so shall I just sort of walk off into the distance? Oh right, yes, okay. Hello, I'm Euan McPhee. I'm chair of the Friends of Tregoniggie Woodland. Originally I had ambitions to become a doctor, but I never went to medical school, so I ended up studying applied biology, and my main subject there was ecology. That's why I became an ecologist, but I spent most of my postgrad time actually teaching ecology. So you could say I've been a sort of professional ecological educator my life. The family, we moved here to Falmouth 14 years ago, and one of the great attractions to where we live was the woodland here, just 100 metres from our front door. Little realising that a year later I would be so thoroughly involved in the management of the woodland. The fact that we have a woodland here is really down to the vision of one man, John Hoyle, and he was the head gardener for Falmouth Borough Council back in the 1960s and early 70s, and got local people in the community to plant all the trees. It was originally farmland, but he saw that with the ever-expanding housing in Falmouth, that there would be a significant loss of green space. But this area got set aside, and it's really down to his vision that this woodland area was established. So we're really the inheritors of that vision 50 years on. Probably the most valuable trees in this woodland are the oak trees that were here even before Tregoniggie Woodland was established. And they are survivors from when this was farmland. If you notice on that bough there, how there's ferns and mosses growing. In a way, these are these tiny little remnants of the temperate rainforest that's been very much in the news recently. But it's not a true temperate rainforest yet. But it could evolve into that if we're lucky, if we wait for a few hundred years. The Friends of Tregoniggie Woodland got established essentially to help look after the woodland and do the various maintenance tasks that Cornwall Council were no longer doing. So that's how it all started. When we first set up the group 13 years ago, I fondly imagined that we'd get one person and their dog turning up at the meeting. But 20 people turned up at that initial meeting. So that told me right away there was a massive groundswell of community concern and interest in this area. And so it's just sort of grown and succeeded from then on. We've got a small committee. Well, there's 8 of us on the committee, and we meet probably about 4 or 5 times a year to sort of plan our activities. We have regular work parties. It's open to anyone and everyone to come along and join us for that. One of the things that we've focused on over the years is improving access to the woodland. Like, we've got one lady in a wheelchair who walks a dog here, but there are several sets of steps along some of the paths. Well, we organised to get those steps removed and some of the paths upgraded. And she was just absolutely delighted that she could suddenly access parts of the woodland that she'd never been to before. We want to keep the recreational and conservation values in balance. I think it's all about ownership and feeling responsibility for the nature we have on our doorstep.
I've always wanted to sort of look after somewhere that's near me, so I could feel like a sense of ownership, really. Like it's a bit of mine, but not in a horrible way. Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm the secretary of Friends of Tregoniggie Woods. My background is in ecology. I've always just loved trees. I found this place when I went for a job. I just thought, what a wonderful place. Someone's looking after this, and there were loads of little paths to go through, and it was just like a magical place, really. Oh, there's a dragonfly. Sorry, distracted ecologist. It's not just that you're making your local area a nice place to be, but I feel like it's the only way you can change the world these days. You look online and you feel like the world is getting worse and worse. Here, you can do something. You can go out and you can make a little bit of difference. You know, it will take a long time, but I know that I've made this tiny little bit of difference that hopefully if everyone did something like that, the world would be a better place. But yeah, we have quite a lot of autonomy, I think. Our chairman tells us what to do. Comes up with plans and goes, let's do it, you know, which is great.
A rather nice flower for you to see is a marsh orchid here. It's a native species. The Friends actually funded the production of a management plan by an ecological consultant. We thought we needed an outside expert who was more objective than I would have been. And the main agenda is that when the woodland was first being laid out, Don Hoyle planted quite a number of exotic trees. We've adopted the strategy to evolve the woodland into something more naturalistic. And so our emphasis is that whatever gets planted, it should be native deciduous species of trees and shrubs, because that's what's better for wildlife. Obviously we have foxes, we have badgers, we do also have deer occasionally. We've got both species of woodpecker, we've got lots of jays. We did have nuthatches nesting in an old oak. It was rotting and it eventually collapsed. In a way, that's the importance of having dead and dying wood around for birds to be able to make their nests in. There wasn't a pond here before, as I said, and it's the one thing that was missing from the woodland. We've got a stream running through it, so we got the running water, but we didn't have any standing water. So this sort of rectified that omission. Perhaps I ought to mention the Bickland stream here. It empties into Swan Pool, which is a site of special scientific interest because it's one of the few homes of a species known as a trembling sea mat, which is a microscopic organism. The water that runs in should be clean, so we keep a close watch on the stream here. From the 1980s, I was teaching about climate change to my environmental science students. I've lived it, I breathe it. Back then, of course, the science was less precise, but the evidence is absolutely overwhelming now. Naively, I thought the evidence would convince everybody, but it still doesn't. And it's a belief thing, and it's also an emotional thing. And that's why I think that places like Tregoniggie do have an important role to play in giving people closer contact with nature and helping them to perhaps understand that nature is changing because of climate change. And if they begin to understand that, see it on their own doorstep, then maybe that's the best way forward to convince them of the need for change. I think every town and every city has some natural space somewhere. I mean, I'm old enough to remember the bomb sites in London after the Second World War and how they erupted with wildflowers and so forth. If there's opportunities, nature will get in there. You know, rewilding isn't just happening out in the countryside. Rewilding can happen very much in the centre of cities. So there's opportunities there, and if people get together, they can help that happen. I think the key is just making sure you've got a sort of groundswell of community support for what you're hoping to do. I mean, the fact that we had 20 people turn up to that initial meeting told me that there's enough people concerned about this area and wanted to get involved. And that's all it takes. You know, you just need 2 or 3 people getting together, and it can grow from there. And once 2 or 3 has started, others feel more likely to then join in.
My name is Anne. I got involved with the Friends because I live nearby and just happened upon them when they were working one time.
I'm Alex, I'm a support worker.
Yeah, my name's Ken Reid. I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm the treasurer of the Tregoniggie Woodland.
It's a good, friendly group. There's no backstabbing or anything like that. Everybody does what they can do, and we have a chat and laugh on the way. I just enjoy it.
I think the woods are a space that I use quite a lot. It's kind of your responsibility to look after an area that you live in. and obviously everyone gets to experience these areas.
Well, it's the community that benefits from green spaces like this, and we do get a lot of compliments about, you know, the condition of the woodland.
So we're all from different walks of life, and you know, you get to chat to young people and old people and everything in between, and it's a lovely way of being in a community without sort of forcing it. You just, you know, you're just digging some invasive species out and you just have a conversation. Keeps me young a bit.